Hello, welcome to the live stream for tonight. I'm a minute early, I think, but we'll just go with that. And I'm coming to you from a hotel, so that's why I don't own this chair at home, but I thought a very nice spot to do the little live. It's a little dim in here, but such is life. I just arrived for the COSI conference, which is for Collaborative Science Conference here in Las Vegas. And Dave Feldman is putting that on. It's going to be a really fun weekend. It starts tomorrow. Well, there's a movie tomorrow, and then the conference itself is Saturday and Sunday. Hey there, Betsy. Um, and so apparently you can buy the I guess it's not a live stream, you can buy the recordings. So when I get the link to that, sorry, chair. When I get the link to that, I will put it in the comment in the description so that people can watch that because it's going to be a really interesting weekend. Obviously, if you know Dave, it's a lot. Sorry, sitting is hard in chairs. It's a lot about lipids, and it's a combination of some very high level lipid related speakers and some really great citizen scientists. And so it's going to be a super duper event. Dr. Ken Berry is going to close the event out on Sunday. So he's the last speaker on Sunday afternoon. And so he and I are going to hang out a little bit at the conference together and maybe do some live streams while we're hanging out together, maybe do some stuff about labs. And so that's the plan anyway. What else? Vegas makes you thirsty, not in like the attractive people sense, but literally thirsty. It's dry here. So I'm just settled in and doing the live stream. So if you have questions, I'd love to hear them. If you want to know what's going on, I'd love to talk about it. I'm wearing my new rag and bone jeans. I don't know, I'll tell you. And have my outfits planned for the conference, of course. I just realized after I packed, though, I bought like both days I'm wearing the exact same sweater, just in different colors. Will this bother anyone but me? Probably not. But would that bother you? They're different. Like one's cream. The pants are totally different, but one's cream and one's orange. You've seen both of these tops on, and they're not that different from this top. They're a little different. But anyway, and I actually brought a shirt with me that I was gonna wear tonight, but it's just too booby. I was gonna wear it for the live stream because it's the shirt I bought uh as like a goal shirt, like, oh, when I lose weight, I will wear this shirt. And it's kind of a Vegas appropriate top. So I was like, I'll bring it with me. And I've never actually worn it out of the house. I wore it in a picture once. Um, but it's like it's a little too much cleavage even for me. And so but so I don't know if I'll ever wear it. Actually, we'll see if maybe I'll wear it this weekend to an evening thing. I don't know. Thanks, Magic Beans. You look great. I appreciate how inspiring you are. I'm going through being depressed and not wanting comfort food and just wanting comfort food. I'm mostly carnivore and gluten free. Wise words. Great question, Magic Beans. Depression is really rough, right? I had my first bout of depression when I was in elementary school, so a lot of history with that, and so I sympathize, empathize with where you're coming from. I think the thing is that in that place, one, it's really important not to beat yourself up for the feelings you're having and not to feel like you're a bad person or you're like your health the journey is slipping, that you're having these cravings. It's very psychological. Um, but I would say that and I know, we all know, but is that the comfort foods won't fix whatever is going on, right? And so while they're not the end of the world, truly, you can recover if you have a bad day. Um, Usually, in my experience, having the foods that I think are gonna make me feel better usually makes me feel worse, long term anyway. And so what I would say is, if you're going through a really depressing period in your life, what for whatever reason, sometimes there's no reason, but a biochemical reason, right? It's not an external reason, it's an internal reason. Then seeking help with that, someone like talking with a professional, um, getting comfort from friends or family, um, going for walks, reducing any burdens on you. Like if there are stresses in your life that you can delay, hand off, or, move, doing that. Um, and giving yourself grace around what's going on. And then I also think in a period of depression, it's not a great time to be I wanna use the word restrictive, but it's not exactly what I mean. To be, insufficient in your food intake, I guess is the way I'll say it. So, I'm not saying you can't be carnivore and, and deal with your depression while staying carnivore. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that it's not necessarily a great time to be in a huge calorie deficit, right? You don't wanna be, like, on a strict, and I don't mean strict by, like, the type of food, but you don't wanna necessarily be highly restrictive in the quantity of food. Now, obviously, you don't wanna binge, you don't wanna overeat, but you also, wanna be well nourished during a time when you're not feeling your best. You wanna give your body every ability to recover. You'll want to, really take care of yourself and nourish yourself and give yourself the nutrients and the love and the care and uh, the comfort that you desire. Without getting into like that spectrum where you're self-medicating with food. Um, I, it's just generally, I guess the only wise words I can offer are, you know, you deserve to be taken care of, and you deserve to put yourself first, and you deserve to be well fed and nourished, and you also deserve to not pile on consequences that you'll have to deal with by eating a bunch of crap right now, which are probably going to make you feel worse, both on a guilt level and on a biochemical level. And so that's where I would say, plan some really nourishing carnivore meals to make you, feel taken care of there, and get some help. Talk to people you trust, hire someone to talk to, because you don't you gotta you gotta get yourself out of the hole you're in. I mean, that's how I always feel. Like depression always to me feels very much like a hole that I'm in, and I keep falling into it and I can't get out of it. And you gotta find a hand that's gonna help pull you out, and you don't have to do it all by yourself. So hopefully something in there resonates with you and can make you turn things around from where you're at. But most of all, like, give yourself some self-love, and don't should yourself, don't guilt yourself, don't feel like, one of the things that I often struggled with in a period where I was depressed was nothing really bad happened. What's wrong with me that I feel this bad? Like, so many people have it worse than me, and like that kind of thing. No, don't try not to do that to yourself, because it is what it is. Your brain is doing what your brain is doing. And you don't deserve to pile guilt on top of the feelings you're having. So that's what I'd say. All right. What else is up? Hey Holly, how's it going? Lenore says no depression, just boredom eating. Yeah, well, boredom eating is a big thing. I think boredom eating has gained more weight than any other kind of eating, probably. I would say that that is something you gotta talk yourself out of, and distract yourself. So boredom eating, is super common. I remember when I used to work like in an office with coworkers, and we would just, we would go get food at breaks. We would go get food at lunch. We would it was food, 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 food at the desk, food, 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 because boredom sucks, and like especially like office boredom, and where you feel a little trapped. So I now fight that by like getting entertaining beverages, like different flavors of sparkling water or teas or things like that. Where if I'm like I need a distraction, I'll be like I'm making myself a beverage, but it's like not something that's gonna ruin my day ingredient wise or anything. Or I'll go for a 5-minute walk just to get up and stop doing whatever I'm doing. Sometimes now because I work from home most of the time, I do procrastinating, which I know is food related, but I'm not eating it. I'm just making something. And like I'll be like, well, now is a good time to make dinner for later, just because I need something else to do. So things that can distract yourself are important in this world. Um, Magic beans, thank you so much. Very helpful. Teary eyed, but good. I have ribs in my Dutch oven. You see me squinting, everybody? I can't see. Um, at the moment, and they smell wonderful. I'll remember the guilt part, especially. Thank you. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Depression guilt is so common and so awful and not helpful. Um, uh, Hey, Paula. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I did change my top like 4 times, being like, "What looks good on this screen with this chair?" Not that I have that many I only had 4 choices. That's the only what I brought. I did bring a few more things than I need. But I got here, I opened up my suitcase, took all my clothes out to steam because I bring the steamer because I gotta steam them. I'm not ironing anything, but I carry a steamer. Um, and um, and I started steaming one of my shirts, and there was like a sprinkle of coffee on it. I was like, how did I not see that when I was packing this thing? Okay, all right. I'm right across the street from like a little mall, and I when I got here, I was a little early, so I wandered the mall for a minute, and I did not buy anything except I did buy a lipstick at Sephora because you have to buy something at Sephora, because Sephora is life. But I'm wearing the lipstick anyway. That's the lipstick. Um, Jean says, I'm finally getting hubby on the low carb bandwagon, and he's stricter than I am. The dudes are like that sometimes, right? I know. Like, my dude is not at all low carb, but if I give him some rules about like you got to eat within these parameters and here and here, and he's like, I was like, wait a minute, what about that? What about that? There's some of them, not all of them. I don't want to stereotype. A lot of them seem to be good at the strict thing. I don't know. Thanks, Deb. Where are you, Lenora? I am in Las Vegas, and I'm here for the COSI conference, the Collaborative Science Conference. I was like Collaborative Science Conference. Here, I'll pull up the website, and I can tell you more about it. So it starts Friday, which is tomorrow. So I'll give you the agenda. So Friday night, there's an event for a screening of the Cholesterol Code documentary. That not everyone going to the conference is seeing that, and then on Saturday there is eight. I'll take you through Adrian Sotomota on Mendelian randomization studies. What are they? What they aren't, and what can we learn from them? Then we've got Ravi Kampali. Apologies to anyone whose name I mispronounced. Metabolically optimizing wound healing, a patient-centric platform-based approach. Then we have Chris McGaskill. How big data will revolutionize nutrition? We've got Jenna Midich or Mitich. When carnivore isn't enough, overcoming stubborn insulin resistance. Then we've got animal agriculture and climate debate between Peter Ballerstedt and Chris McCaskill. And then there is a clinical management of coronary plaque with Brett Shearer. Does LDL cholesterol cause cardiovascular disease with David Diamond? And Ben Boccaccio, A History of Metabolic Health from Raven to Schumann, How We Got Here, as it's a long title, as a discipline and how I got in the field, tracing the trajectory of the conventional and popular science from the 1960s to present day and positions. By the way, I'm not on the page where I can see your question, so I'll get back there in a minute. Then we've got Jamie Seaman, Strong is Better Than Skinny. Changing the conversation on wellness, a citizen scientist speaker, so a regular Joe person, Mark Rhodes, and then we've got Nina Teicholz, the U.S. Dietary Guidelines for America, Why They Matter, and the Latest News. So it's a long day. Then we've got a citizen scientist, Sherry Reef, We've Been Failed. And then we've got a lean mass hyper responder discussion panel with Nicholas Verhoeven, David Diamond, and Eric Westman. So that's the first, that's a lot, the first day. And then I got to get to tomorrow. Let's see, agenda. And then Sunday, we've got a panel debate or panel discussion with Brett Shearer, Nadir Ali, Ben Boccaccio, and Amber O'Hearn. Excited to see Amber. I love her. Exercise-induced mitochondrial adaptations with Nicholas Verhoeven. We've got Natalie Nicole, a citizen scientist speaker, reimagining sweetness, exploring functional alternatives to sugar and alternative sweeteners. Eric Westman, Keto Goes Against Everything We've Been Taught. Christy Kessering, who's a doctor, Revolution of Persistent, chylothorax with a ketogenic diet, a case report. Then we've got, I have coronary calcium. What is my risk of having a cardiovascular event with Dr. Nadir Ali? Survival of the Storyteller, How Science Needs to Evolve in the Age of Social Media with Nick Norwitz. Satiety, an analysis of common myths with Amber O'Hearn. Then we've got Lisa Emerson, a citizen scientist with a collaborative approach to improving patient outcomes. We've got Jeffrey Banker, the proper human dentition, the proper human dentition with preventable solutions for deficiencies. I'm going to guess this person is a dentist. Then we've got a citizen scientist, Roxana Sotober, with The Sweet Trap, a personal perspective on sugar addiction. Amy Berger with The Dark Side of Biohacking, Are Your Healthy Habits Working Against You? Dr. Uzma Haider, Is Gaining Weight My Fate? Dominic D'Agostino, Ketone Metabolic Therapy, Emerging Applications and Biomarkers. And then Ken Berry, Type 2 Diabetes is Reversible. And then Dave Feldman will wrap us up for the event. So let me find you guys again so I can see questions. So that is the conference that is happening this weekend. So if you guys want to see these talks, they're recording them and you can purchase them, and all the proceeds go to the Citizen Scientist Foundation. So no, there's no profit there. They just put all of the money back into the research that they do. So there you go. Yes, the Sod Father. So Pierre Ballerstedt, who's a very entertaining speaker. If you haven't seen him, the Sod Father was what we call him. So Lenore says, wow, too many to choose from. Well, that you can watch them all. They're all available. So they are going to be, they're not either ors. That's why it's a really long day. And I'm helping Dave out a bit during the event by if the speakers are like whoever's speaking, making sure they're not lost when they're about to speak, making sure they're ready to go up. So I'm going to help out a little bit because Dave and I are buds, and so he said, hey, can you nudge people in the right direction? And I said, sure, no problem. I am a little concerned because I brought heels. And I usually wear flats to these things. And quite honestly, the only reason that I'm wearing heels instead of flats is I didn't have time to have all my pants hemmed, and they're too long. And so anyway, does this sound familiar to anyone else's experience when you're like, those are going to drag on the floor unless I wear the tall shoes? So hopefully I'll be able to walk by the end of the day. All right. Yeah, so it's going to be a super entertaining couple of days, I think, chock full of information. Dave's events are always put together really well. Dave's wife, Sharon, is a top-notch event organizer, so that's a little ace he's got in his pocket that helps a lot. She's the one in the back with the microphone and the headset and making sure all the moving parts are working. I know Keto Chow is going to be here, I think. So I'm just I don't know. We'll see who else is here on the vendor side. Betsy says it's $100 for 3 months access to the videos. 90% or $90, whichever way you want to slice it, is of that amount is tax deductible, right? Because it's going to the Citizen Scientist Foundation. I guess maybe $10 is like fees, but the rest of it is all going to the Citizen Scientist Foundation. So yeah, that's gonna be super interesting. I'm really looking forward to meeting Nick Norwitz. So last time they did this event, he had a conflict, and so I didn't meet him. I was here for this event about 10 months ago. They did it last year. I really wish though that they could fix it so that it's really nice and warm while I'm here because it's not. It's only like a few degrees warmer than it was in California, which I know many of you are like, cry me a river. It's not that cold in California. But you know, I was like, it would be just a little break where sun is warm and your bones are warm. I would like that. I would anyway. Um, Magic Beans, is Siobhan still involved? Yes, Siobhan and Dave are still very much involved. I think I didn't see her name on the list. She may not, you don't always want to speak. One of the things about doing these events is when Dave is only doing the emceeing, like um, when you're part of running the event, it's very hard to speak because they need you to make sure everything's working. And so my guess is, I don't know this for sure, but my guess is Siobhan is doing back end stuff. Um, so yeah. I mean, it's not cold here. It's just nice-ish. It was a little windy here. So I felt when I went outside, I mean, I didn't get it, maybe it was warmer before I got here, but it was like it's windy a little, and it felt like it was like maybe low 60s. Paolo is saying it was 75 and sunny. Not quite close, but just a little. So I wasn't like, oh, I need my parka, but I was like, I had my little zippy hoodie on. I know some of you are, again, I know I'm complaining from a very privileged place right now, but I get to ask for what I want, okay? And I wanted it like 80. I did. I wanted it like 80. Um, Kids had a 2-hour school delay today for ice. Yes, exactly. I get what I am saying is unreasonable. Totally unreasonable to not be happy about low 60s with a little bit of wind. I understand that I am unreasonable about that. But, you know, by February, even from I am not from the hot part of California. I am from the not hot part of California. And in the not hot part of California, it's raining right now and it is in the 50s. And so I was like, "Oh gosh, it would be really nice to go somewhere where I could sit outside for a while and absorb a lot of sun and feel warm." That's all. That's the experience I wanted and it was just not quite there. Um, Tracy, snowy in Connecticut, 5 to 6 inches expected. Yeah, it is winter. It is indeed winter. Magic Bean says, I'm sure they're sorry. Yeah, I'm going to have a word with somebody about this. I'm going to need to speak to the manager for sure. Um, yeah, it's storming in Sacramento. Yeah, yeah. When I left San Francisco, no, Oakland. I flew out of Oakland. And yeah, we had a sunny, it was pouring on Tuesday, a little bit of sun on Wednesday. Wednesday was very nice. and then rainy again. So we're in a rainy period right now. It rained like crazy early in the week. Like Monday to Tuesday, super rainy. Um, Jujubee, we just hit 61 once this week. I was in a t-shirts and shorts planning for my garden. Yeah, yeah, that is true. When it gets really cold in a place where you live, and then it gets in the low 60s, you're like, summer. Yeah. Hey, Miriam, are you in Las Vegas yet? I'm speaking to you from a hotel room chair. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's what's going on in my world. What else? Whenever I travel, I get this sort of like, I need a nap feeling. So I'm like, I'm fighting that a little bit, but I don't know what it is about planes. They like suck the life out of you. But yeah, we're here. We're gonna have a good time. I gotta get my energy back up because I'm gonna probably be running around all over the place. And we'll try and do some lives from either from the event, after the event, between the event, something like that. Um, Yes. Oh, good a question. Thank you. I'm just blathering. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Are you coming or not, Miriam? Keto Chow peeps are driving. Yeah, because tomorrow there's nothing happening during the day. I'm like, oh right. But I like getting places early. Cause like what if my luggage doesn't make it and I have to go shopping? I need a day to do that. You gotta think about the practicality. And also I like to acclimate to the area. Um, I don't like to be rushed. I just don't. And I work from home. So it's like I can leave a day early and just work from wherever I'm going. I am very privileged in many ways. Um, I'm leaning forward and squinting. I really need to put my glasses on. Can you talk about vitamin B deficiency being genetic, possibly? Okay, so you're probably referring to MTHFR, the MTHFR gene. With the MTHFR gene, you don't absorb B vitamins very well. So they kind of just roll off. You might eat them, you don't absorb them. So in your body's process, you do not well, you absorb them, but you don't methylate them. Let me say it that way, because that's actually more accurate. And you have to methylate them to actually absorb them. And so if you have this MTHFR genetic mutation, which is exceedingly common, super common. It's like it's a good number of people. So it's not unlikely that you might have the MTHFR gene mutation. In that case, you have to take methylated B vitamins. So they pre-methylate the B vitamins. So if you just took unmethylated B vitamins, and you have this gene mutation, you don't get the benefit from them. So you have to take pre-methylated B vitamins. Now, if you don't have this genetic problem, and you take methylated B vitamins, that won't hurt you. So, I always say if you're going to take B vitamins, might as well err on the side of getting the methylated ones, so that would be helpful if you need it. And so that's a big thing. And so, not being able to absorb these vitamins can cause all sorts of problems. You need them for energy. You need them for brain function. I mean, vitamins are important. You need them for, they can cause depression issues, bipolar issues. They can exacerbate conditions you may have. So they can cause high homocysteine, which can lead to potentially cardiovascular disease problems. So big problems for sure. It's a weird genetic mutation, but a common one, and so those people need to take methylated B vitamins. That hopefully that answers your question. Oh, Miriam's not coming. You're sick. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I want to be with my kids. I'm bummed though. I love Dave. Yeah, Dave is an easy guy to love for sure. Um, so Lenore says, my niece was tested as deficient. I was low on my blood work, but was just told to take B12. So, oh look, Betsy with the facts. 44% of the population has MTHFR. Yeah, so almost half, right? Really popular. Popular. It's so popular. Well, sometimes my word choice is not the best. Um, so if you guys were testing low in the B vitamins, I might look into seeing if you have this gene mutation. And because B vitamins is not just B12, right? Now, B12, you might be deficient in these vitamins, not because you have the MTHFR gene mutation, but maybe because you just are deficient in them. So that's something that you'd want to look at, and you can get a test to see if you have the MTHFR gene, or you can just take methylated B vitamins. I'm not a doctor though, so you should check with your doctor about these things. Um, are there any particular vitamins and supplements I recommend after menopause? Oh wait, I missed one. Sorry, I'll come back to you. Tracy asked a question. Do I know what Daisy Brackenhall is up to? I never see her stuff anymore. Well, yeah, I just texted with her the other day. We're friends, so she's doing great. She's living in the UK and and living her life and doing good things. So she's great. I don't know what she wants shared about her endeavor. She's working, she's still supporting the community on the back end on some things, and yeah, she's doing good. All right. Maybe I'll have her on a live sometime to catch up. She's awesome. Um, are there any okay, back to are there any particular vitamins that I recommend after menopause? Well, I usually say it's a good idea to get some blood work done to look at what vitamins and minerals you might need if you can find out that. I can tell you from like my perspective, I'm not postmenopausal. I am in perimenopause. So in that sort of leading up to menopause period. Menopause is just an event, right? So you're either perimenopausal or you're postmenopausal. You are not menopausal. That makes sense. Because it's a day, right? So because so the period perimenopausal, not that you asked this, but why not tell you? Perimenopausal is like the 10 years or so. It's like defined as the time period your hormones start to go wonky, but it's about the 10 years leading up to menopause. Menopause is defined as when you hit 12 months without a period. So you've now gone 12 months, no period. After that moment, you are then in postmenopause for the rest of your life. So you're either so you're either, I guess you could say, premenopausal for the fertile period of your life, although you are a little fertile in you're potentially fertile or potentially not in perimenopause. So it's premenopausal, although premenopausal also includes perimenopausal. So I just call that not menopausally related. Up until perimenopause, then you're perimenopausal until you get to the menopause event, and then you're postmenopausal. So anyway, um, uh, and so what can happen to our body postmenopausally, or even in that perimenopause period? Um, we start having fluctuating hormones, lowered estrogen, sometimes lowered progesterone, and so we can experience a lot of things like dry skin, constipation, hair loss, mood disturbance, depression, anxiety. Our skin can be really itchy because it's drier. And we lose a ton of collagen that really starts to deplete when we're in that postmenopausal period as we start to decline in estrogen. In general, we might experience, just thinking of all the wondrous things. We might experience, hot flashes, flushing, skin changes, texture changes, hair changes, mood changes, aches. So we lose muscle mass. We will lose joint flexibility. You might get something like frozen shoulder, back problems. Your bones may start to collapse. Those kinds of things. And so for me, as you're in that perimenopausal period, that's a time where maybe some supplementation could be of benefit, right? So that would be when I might look into making sure I'm getting plenty of collagen in my diet. Bone broth is a great source of it. Because in perimenopause, you've got these fluctuating hormones. It's like they're not always low, they're sometimes higher, sometimes lower, they go up and down. And so that can be, you can be dealing with things, dealing with making sure you're getting omega 3s, making sure, help condition your skin better, help with just inflammation issues, those kinds of things. Make sure you're getting plenty of protein, resistance training, those things to help ward off that loss of muscle mass you're getting and the loss of bone that you might experience. And then, hormones. Hormones are helpful. So that's the thing. But in terms of supplements, I would say looking at what you might be deficient in, and because anything in that menopausal period, um, I'll say it this way, you're not as robust anymore. And so the kinds of things you could kind of brush off before, maybe your system doesn't roll with as well. And so you want to like make sure that you're getting all the nutrition you want, plenty of protein. Make sure your vitamin D is appropriate. So, like myself, what do I take? I'll just say that because I can't tell you what to take because I don't know what your things look like, but I need electrolytes. I take omega 3s. I use Nordic Naturals usually. I take if I ate a lot of fish, I wouldn't do that. I would just eat a lot of fish, but I don't eat a lot of fish, and you need omega 3s. I take a multivitamin by Thorne. It's like a couple of vitamins because I just cover my bases. I need to take iron because I'm chronically iron deficient, even though I eat a lot of red meat. Um, I vitamin D. Did I say vitamin D? Vitamin D3K2. I make sure to get that because I definitely need that. And then I take a lot of magnesium because I need a lot of magnesium. So I think those are what I take. Might take some others, but that's the main ones that I get. Um, Magic Bean says, since being carnivore, I get a lot of B12. Is it a problem to take multivitamins and get too much B12? Previous blood work has shown that my B12 is good. If your B12 is good, your B12 is good. If your B12 is good, you don't need to take B12. So I would just keep checking on that. Some people, like myself, who eat a lot of red meat still have kind of low B12. I don't anymore, but I used to, because maybe their gut isn't in that great a shape, and so they're not absorbing all the B12. So don't. That's a good thing to get tested. Hey, Nanu Pat, good to see you. Oh, now I got the nose itch. All right, go away, nose itch. Um, let's see what else we got here. All right, that's what we got for the questions. All right, so we'll probably wrap it up for the night. Um, if you have anything, any requests, anything you want me to talk to Dr. B about this week while we're hanging out together, put it in the comments, and we'll be checking in. I will check the comments before we move on from the event. If I can pin him down to talk about things. All right, guys. Everybody have a great night, and I will see you soon. All right. Bye.